You've heard the saying a million times, right? Probably in some action movie. I can smell your fear. It sounds like just a cool line, a metaphor for seeing that someone's scared. But what if it wasn't just a metaphor? What if you could literally smell fear? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into. So let's get right to it. That's our big question. Can people, or even animals, actually smell when you're afraid? It might sound like science fiction, but a whole bunch of scientific research says the answer is yes, absolutely. This isn't just a figure of speech, it's a real biological thing that's happening all the time. It turns out we're all communicating through this secret, invisible channel without even knowing it. Think about it. Long before we had words or even body language, creatures needed a way to share information, and one of the oldest ways was right through the air itself. The science behind this hidden language comes down to one key idea: chemosignals. Just think of them as tiny, invisible messengers for our emotions. When you feel something really strong, like fear or stress, your body doesn't just keep that feeling to itself. Nope, it actually broadcasts it out into the world. So how does this whole process work? Well, it all kicks off with that classic fight or flight response. Your brain senses danger, and bam, you get a rush of adrenaline. That adrenaline flips a switch on a very special type of sweat gland called the apocrine glands. You've got a lot of them in your armpits. And these glands release a specific kind of sweat that's just loaded with these fear chemosignals. And this is super interesting. Not all sweat is the same, not even close. The sweat you get from a workout, that's from your eccrine glands, and it's basically just salt and water designed to cool you down. But fear sweat, that's a whole different story. It's from those apocrine glands, and it's a completely different chemical recipe. Its job isn't cooling you down, it's sending a message. Okay, so this all sounds pretty wild, but how do scientists know this is really happening? Well, this isn't just a guess. The proof comes from some really clever and credible academic studies, the kind that get peer-reviewed, where researchers have actually managed to capture and test the power of this fear sweat. So check out this classic experiment, which was published in the academic journal Psychological Science. Researchers did something genius. They got people to watch scary movies and collected their fear sweat on pads. Then they had a completely different group of people smell those pads while looking at pictures of faces with neutral, hard-to-read expressions. And the results were amazing. When people were smelling the fear sweat, they were way more likely to see those neutral faces as being afraid. The chemosignals literally changed how they saw the world. This finding just opens up your mind to this incredible idea. And this quote from Discover magazine says it perfectly. Just imagine the last time you were in a packed movie theater during a really tense horror movie. You weren't just watching a film together. You were all literally sitting in a chemical cloud of fear and suspense. And get this, scientists from the famous Max Planck Institute actually put this to the test. They literally analyzed the air inside a movie theater, and they found that during the suspenseful scenes, the levels of certain chemicals that our bodies release under stress, like isoprene, went through the roof. You could actually measure the audience's fear in the air. How cool is that? But this hidden chemical conversation isn't just happening between humans. Maybe the best and most relatable proof of all comes from our best friends, who seem to be total pros at reading our chemical signals. You see, this is such an ancient form of communication that it actually crosses the species barrier. Your dog might understand how you're feeling better than you realize, and it's not some kind of magic. It's just chemistry. And this isn't just a hunch that dog owners have, it's backed by science. Multiple studies, including some really solid research from the journal Frontiers in Veterinary Science, have confirmed it. Dogs can reliably smell the difference between sweat samples taken from a person when they're calm versus when they're stressed out. They are literally living, breathing stress detectors. Okay, so let's put this all together. What's the big takeaway here? It means that we are swimming in a world of invisible communication all the time, constantly sending and receiving data about our emotions without even thinking about it. So here's the bottom line. The next time you walk into a room and just get a bad vibe, or you suddenly feel tense for no reason, you might not be imagining it. You could just be picking up on the invisible fear signals someone else left behind in the air. Smelling fear isn't a metaphor. It's a real part of who we are. And that kind of leaves us with one final mind-bending thought. If we can broadcast and receive something as complex as fear without saying a word, what other emotions, what other secret messages are we all sending and receiving on this hidden chemical network every single day? Makes you think, doesn't it?